And last but not least, I bring up our dance team. Whatever can make it from our dance team. One, all right!
That's because so many are multi-sport
That is
athletes.
true.
They're at games and matches.
All right, Coach Smith.
I'm Coach Leah Smith, and this is year 29 for me. So this next year's going to be 30. We're having a party all year. I said it's my birthday, because it is. Well, actually, it's 30. But we had a great year this year. I want to mention the middle school. Our middle school placed second with their pom routine at state. And if you don't know dance, which people don't, dance is super competitive in the state of Illinois. We are up there in the top 3 for the nation of competitive states within the dance world, meaning that the standards are very high. We're placing at nationals. We're doing all of these sorts of things. So to be a small Midwestern town, to compete with towns that are next to St. Louis or Chicago or downstate, that really, it says something about our community and the support that we have from parents, staff, and school board. So we really appreciate that. We had a team of 14 last year. We all were varsity. We didn't have a JV team. We had a varsity team. They ended up taking first in state, which was a battle to the very end. Just kind of going back and forth in scores and really trying every week to see what we could do to make it better. I think there was some weeks where we were like, we cannot make any more color work with palms. There's absolutely nothing we can do. But it was a great time. And we don't have an Apollo conference. We're working on it. That's something we're talking about. But if we did, we score higher than anybody else that's in the Apollo. So, I make sure I can tell her that. But so that's kind of where we are. We had 4 seniors leading us, kind of going all different places, SIU, SIUE. Layla Ballard is going to like Oregon to go to college or somewhere, wasn't it? Oklahoma.
Close, yeah.
It was an O.
You didn't go to geography.
So, yeah, definitely, they're kind of everywhere, and they've got really big plans for their futures, and they should be right. Who is here is Aurelie Gonzalez. Aurelie is a junior currently. She will be a senior. One thing I do want to note is every week we get an academic eligibility list for school, and because dance is a year-long sport, we get them from the beginning of the school year till we have state on Valentine's Day. Not once was any of my dancers on that academic eligibility list this entire year. So every single time they were all above board. In fact, out of 14, 12 maintained straight A's. So I'm very impressed, and most of those were in honors classes. So very impressed with that. I'll let Aurelie kind of tell you what being a competitive dancer means to her.
I think that I can demonstrate a lot of skills with that support that and demonstrate what it takes to get as far as you can do, and to also finish with that for the long sessions and that we have at the position that way we get closer and like more ready.
Yeah, and we still do our performance with Charleston annually, and we're bringing back the cheer dance this year, so we're working with the cheerleaders too. So.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on your championship.
Next on the agenda, actually, we're going to add live a little bit here. There's an item inadvertently left off the agenda. I'm going to introduce Laura Roberts, who's the high school yearbook sponsor. Mr. Roberts, if you want to get up and do your thing. Thank you.
And I'm also going to bring up my current editor-in-chief, Sophia Skinner. She was junior editor-in-chief last year. She's a senior this year. We're going to hand out. So last year's theme was Netflix. What I didn't know is that, actually, I don't own a Netflix account. I have no idea how to design like Netflix, so it was literally the students ran with it. And I was like, I don't pay for stuff. I have time left with you. Bill, did you still get one? So Sophia is a senior in high school too, so I'm going to let her talk a little bit about how we come up with ideas. lot of different positions for our yearbook students. We have an editor-in-chief, junior editor-in-chief, we've got a business manager, we have design editors, social media and advertising. And so, they really run the class, okay? So they go through, they have things that are due, and then I don't even look at it. So they're the ones that make the changes, and then from there, they make the bucket, he makes changes, and then I do my final. Do all this before sending out. There's a lot of steps in details, and there's a lot of money. They have to fill out a job application for the people, because this is what they have. And they have to sign a contract saying that they're gonna take pictures, they're gonna interview students, they're gonna write stories, they're gonna write captions. So it is a lot of responsibility.
How many people work on this, or signing contracts?
Last year, we had 9, this year we have 9, because we had, graduated.
And when does the prep for this start?
Right at the beginning of the year, and then we get the classroom.
And how many hours outside of the classroom do you spend doing this?
Well, students are supposed to participate in every single game, every single time. So all of the different can events around it, the band competition, the in town, we're expected to go and take pictures.
A lot of hours.
Good for you, because this is a marvelous publication. I can't imagine how much work goes into it. And how much help you've given yourself, when you graduate from here and move on to whatever you're going to do next. This has got, I mean, anyone who knows anything about this business has to know how big of a job you put on.
It was a big job, especially for the kind of things we have to go. The younger students like that, and we had really good freshmen this year who weren't too sure what they were doing, so we did a lot of extra help and everything. So, I plan on going to the event to get a couple of pictures, and hopefully we're going to this year.
Now, how much time do you spend thinking about the person who's going to take the quiz?
I have a very good designer with Carol, and we work together a lot. And I have kind of trained her, and she's also trained me on how to talk about information that next year it's going to be all set. So we have
Good for you. I mean, thinking about what you leave behind is just as, if not more important than what you're doing yourself. So good for you. That's very mature. He just retired.
I know.
Oh,
Any other questions?
Well, thank you very much. This is, okay, let's move on to item 2.2, non-agenda. Do we have anyone wishing to address the board this time? I don't have to see it. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item 3, the consent agenda. Consent agenda, as always, does require board action. Here are the items on the consent agenda. Item 3.1, approval of minutes for the regular board meeting of March 10th of this year. Under 3.2, under financial, presentation of bills for approval, monthly financial reports by fund, and the budget to actual report. Item 3.3, the enrollment report. Item 3.4, approval of the following overnight trips. The MHS boys tennis team to the Troy Triad invite April 24th and 25th in Troy. And 3.4B, which is approval of the high school boys basketball to the St. Charles Shootout June 19th and 20th in St. Charles, Missouri. Final item on the consent agenda. 3.5 is the freedom of information report. Do I have a motion to approve the consent? Motion by Ashley, consent, just a second. Second from Cheryl Armstrong, discussion on the Yes. Item 4, reports and recommendations of the business manager. Mr. Gear.
All right, 4.1, we're action to renew the service agreement with Airmark for the 26-27 school year. So a few years ago, we did an RFP, we did an RFP for the food service for the state of Illinois. It's a 5-year plan, but it needs to be renewed every year. So we're asking to renew for the 3rd year of this service agreement with Airmark. The prices are all based on the consumer price index, which was part of the contract we made 2 years ago. And it was 2.7% last year, so the prices are weighted to 2.7%. And again, we continue to have an excellent working relationship, as we heard when we talked about our summer program last year. We're in the planning stages for this summer to do a similar program with Airmark. So we're going to have this for summer program. So the administration recommends that we review our contracts with Airmark. Yes, we're still part of the CEP program, and yes, all of our kids will be free. I would have to check what our reimbursement rate is, but it could be similar.
Outside of our Any questions? If not, do I have a motion to make the food service agreement with Airmark for the 26-27 school year? That was set by the reserve, it's set on the board. Seeing none, Cal? Yes. 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 You're done?
Sounds good, that's all I got.
Item 5, reports and recommendations of the assistant superintendent for human resources. Dr. Scosi.
Go ahead. April personnel report. 5.1, Nathan Platt, diagnosed with social science, teacher effective. Certified appointment, Elaine Lee, district guidance counselor.
Item 7 on the agenda, reports and recommendations of other district personnel who this instance is. Okay.
Want to thank the board for the opportunity to present this evening. We have been busy working in the area of K-5 girls. So, no action will be asked for this evening, just simply an informational presentation. We will go to timelines here a little bit. Take a look here, first of all, with K-5 first, just to kind of give you an overview of what all this entails. There was really maybe three components. We have the curriculum process that we follow. We also have curriculum mapping as well as curriculum materials. All of these three areas collectively make up the curriculum for our different areas. With that being said, this year, late last year, this year, we have been busy since August. We had an adoption team meeting. The adoption team was actually created last year for the K-5 literacy process. We started meeting in August, started having conversations around this adoption plan. And with that brought us multiple different products to review. We actually had five we started out with. Really filled the room next door with products for and we think this team had an opportunity to go through those and really real needs and kind of look at what each of these things have offered. From there, we had extensive work with them as professional learning communities in each of the buildings, also teachers individually. Took this opportunity to go through and take some people look into those products that were available for consideration. It ended up with narrowing it down to two products, and with those two products, we conducted a pilot that started in January. And so our teachers in both buildings throughout the grade levels really took on the task of seeing what these two companies had on. Not both were McGraw-Hill companies, both were McGraw-Hill products, and they had a chance to measure them out side by side. In this process, our teachers completed a survey right at the forefront. From that survey, we really were able to design a rubric that was going to really look at the entirety of what's from that product, or from that pilot that we had, it was that one stood out amongst the two that were your name. CCC has had an opportunity to review that. I do want to thank the team members here. This is a long list. I'm pretty much having less time, I think, for what's not. But these individuals either sat in on the adoption team or they participated in the pilot that existed. Some of those are in this room. We appreciate all of their contributions and feedback that they gave. I do want to point out two individuals, both are with us tonight. Our academic coaches at Rachel McCoy and Richard Stewart, they really drove a lot of the work that went here. So they drove a lot of the work that happens in the building. I mean, they were working with teams and they were working with individuals and they were housing some of the piles and mounds of products that we were looking at and reviewing. Their work with the teachers was, as it is always, was unmatched. And they really helped this process to do this extremely possible. So, appreciation to everybody there. So looking kind of at how the curriculum map looks, and there's a link in there so you can click on that and see the bigger picture of this. This is a snapshot. But essentially, from start to finish, kindergarten through grade 5, everything that we have is designed to get a scope and interactive for our teachers to access. One portion of this will be that the coaches continue to work with PLCs on curriculum math routines, any thoughts of revision and proposals. They're working on some things now, they'll be working throughout the summer, and probably be coming back this fall for consideration. After the work throughout the world, there as well too. Just the way they talk about steps they're taking on that. Again, just to kind of give you a background on that. From the standpoint of materials, Emerge, the Bravo product, the 3 through 5, which is on display out here, was the one that came out on top with both our pilots and our reviews. And so Emerge will just kind of highlight a little bit about what McGraw-Hill, which most of you probably remember McGraw-Hill when you were in school. They've been around for a long time. And it's been a true effective company that has been responsible for the Emerge product. So, first off, start with our drills. Go look at research, structured literacy. Our teachers, these bullet points are some of the things that our teachers said, these are components, and these are the components that we found on very clear scope and sequence, as we mentioned earlier. That component is very important. It's designed to really build a strong, early reading foundation with our first graders. We talk about a lot about alignment with letters. Our teachers, this we've invested a lot of time, teachers have invested in the office side over the last couple of years, getting trained with letters, and part of that is from provide those foundational skills in Emerge online directly with that. So that was a big piece too. Also looking at opportunities to do pre-lab vocabulary and also have discussion based within that discussion. There also is an integrated writing component to this curriculum. So basically students are encouraged to work frequently to write those connections to what they are reading. And of course, focus on supporting that foundation skills. Differentiation, there are some small group instruction components to this based on what information we gather and collect from students. And there's a built-in enrichment and also intervention components, so the students of all ages can get where they are challenged. Obviously, looking at emphasizing the code and language development comprehension. But one of the big pieces that we really pulled away from our survey was that teachers, especially between grades 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, they really were looking for something that had this big transition from progression to those high management pathways and growth. Second through fifth grade, again, we look at gradual release instructional model and grow and connect reading, writing, and language development all together. We look at obviously an automatic word reading, spelling, and fluency with routines, mostly with grades 2 3, and really looking at the text instruction plus other subjects like science and social studies integrated into that. Also in second through fifth grade, we've got text-linked writing plus, which extends, we have extended projects like narrative and formative thinking for the students who are able to take deeper understanding, as well as there's a study groups and focus groups that are sort of including instruction. Again, back to this about alignment, A5 is so key. So it was smooth transition for our students these foundational skills to the more rich opportunities to high-level writing and also so with that, the material costs for McGraw-Hill through Emerge is just over $358,000 for 6 years. funding sources, we have everything worked through with Ryan, budgeted out the time we wanted to have it for. So recommendation, obviously, we took this to CCC, they reviewed it after a month of having access to materials too. We had unanimous approval that occurred here at our meeting last week. And we're forced to bring it to here. There will be a 1 month review period. On the other side of the wall, we want to have an opportunity for you to check out just a snippet of what they are offering you for. But nonetheless, they will be available there, and then they will be able to seek approval at that. A little bit of time, but
And they consider me the first review, so I was trying to help. But what is it that, I mean, we have certain goals as a district. In other words, for this group of kids. That's why we're investing in the curriculum and doing this in the first place. What is it that we look for, the people who make the decision which curriculum to purchase? What are we looking for there? I mean, in other words, is there a track record of success? I mean, I'm an educator, but one of the things that I see is very challenging for educators is you teach the student hoping they'll be better tomorrow, next week, and next month, and next year, but, you know, it's 5 years, it's about 10 years later too, and that's really, you don't know. So are there products out there that have, where the vendors try to sell you on, hey, we know this works because this, or just, can you give me an idea of what
yeah,
works?
so that's a big question with a big answer, and it's deliberate. I mean, our rubric was very thorough from how the company supports the teachers, to training, to, a lot of it for us currently was that alignment, how everything comes together through our reading, writing, and grammar. Right now, there are a lot of different programs you can enter to get the job done. This is a well-rounded product that really offered a lot of all the things. We did have 3 or 4 companies who came in to present to us and provide to us what they would do. So our teachers had a chance to kind of get an opportunity to see what they offered and how it could look in practice through their lens. Yeah, there's a lot of sales out there. There's a lot of good sales out there, but we had a really well-rounded group of teachers on this team that were able to recognize. The very first thing we started out with this year was just so that really was based on their feedback. So it consisted of probably 40 different indicators that we use and scores.
Okay, so that, I guess, you said it right there at the end, so there's 40 different
Oh, yeah.
factors you take into account.
Some of those are best practices. Some of those are teacher supports and trainings. Some of those are, put some together items on there.
Differentiated instruction, connection to writing, connection to the Common Core, implementation. We're really looking for a program that is pretty diverse in that K1 needs a very specific type of instruction, whereas K5 needs something a little bit different. So that was a big piece of it, kind of looking at how the program differentiates between a kindergarten student just what they do to fifth grade students.
I think one of the biggest pieces that districts invested in us as teachers and educators to provide us with the best training with the letters program and the science and reading. And so with all that training, we wanted to make sure that we got a resource that matched that so that our teachers could use all that training 4 training, or like a full day training for it. So the first module is really about the foundation. And so like if you're a fifth grade teacher, you might be sitting there saying like, why am I getting this? Because it's talking about like all your phonemes and your phonics and all your sounds and how everything works. But we have some students that sometimes come to us that need that. And we learn more in that course than some of us learned in our entire career of being in the classroom if it wasn't something you taught before, or you didn't learn it in college. It was so much learning. And then the second module is focused more on like 3, 4, 5, because it talks about the writing and the vocabulary and how that all plays in a part. But Carla Moore's here, and I'm sure she would be happy to tell you that, and like how it impacts first. She doesn't care to color on speak, so. As a first grade teacher, she can tell you how even though that might not be her bread and butter, like it is third through fourth and fifth grade, but what she's learned from it, and it's just all of that we've learned through the Illinois Literacy Plan, as well as like what we've learned through letters. We just want to be able to help our kids with what they need, and so we have to pour into the teachers so that we are better equipped to help those kids. Because every day it's a new challenge, it's a new, oh wow, I've never seen that happen before. I wonder why. We're having those conversations at PLCs at the team level, and we're intervening, and we need a strong tier 1 program that helps meet those needs. Anybody else want to add any more about letters? And not only with the superintendent, but the
I sit on the CCC, and probably knows anyway, just because I am on the CCC, by any stretch of the imagination. But if you go back to that slide with all those names on it, I'm excited next month to vote in support of this. But all those names on the bottom, they are. And so, I sleep very comfortable not going to support the program. All those people that know what they're looking for and what they're looking at, this support system. So look forward to it. It'll be a great system. Just to wrap this up, I think the dovetail what Tim said. The students are going to be exposed to this for 6 years. Hopefully, they'll be affected by it for way longer. And if the right product is chosen and it's implemented correctly, that's what happens, right? If good things come from that, thank you to the people who are in this room who work on this. I think I probably speak for more when I say we have the highest degree of confidence in working on this.
And I would like to say, again, I'm looking at here, but people online that watch it. And I have, there's people on
That's actually what we're doing. We're just taking the time this month to check things out. Reach out if you have any questions, myself, Rachel, and you. So, yeah, feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Hey, moving on to item 8 on the agenda, unfinished business.
Yes, so the board recalls the conversation at the March meeting. We discussed about the future of the meeting, typically that time of year where the board and tasks the upcoming school year's meeting. So, Dave, you would mind about that last meeting. So based upon that discussion, at last month's board meeting, the recommendation for the, board action for that's it right there. So, I hope you can see that. The only substantive change is what came out of the last month's discussion is recommending that the start time move from the 7 o'clock annual time, monthly time to 6 p.m., as well as the return to, back to 2024, 25, the return to each of the attendance centers at least once. So we'll kind of see a little bit of change to what that occurred to previously, but we're excited to have the board view this new middle school with the increase in the tapestry at that point to create first thing. Then we move to the high school. Many of you know that we're very blessed in our community to be supported in a lot of different ways and partnerships. One of those ways is we get an annual or a monthly, I should say annual, monthly big spotlight on the schools with WMCI where London Hall invites us to come and kind of share. I don't know what the road trip to work or in the morning commute. So a lot of the things that Kelly does a great job of making this sound great in regards to all the many things that we don't have. Obviously, we don't have enough time to explain what all is occurring across April and May, but it is a very busy time of the year. It's an exciting time of the year for our staff, for our students, and for our families. So just to kind of give you a little bit of an update of what I shared last Thursday, had the first opportunity to update Hilton and kind of share some preschool stuff that's occurring in our district. But one of the things that's coming up with preschools are May 14th, preschool graduation, which boys you haven't seen. That's one of the cutest things. You see a 5-year-old that's 25-year-old running across the stage with their family out. The next cutest thing is May 16th when we have our high school graduation. And it's cute in the aspect that we see the relief of parents sometimes that they finally get to see their kids walking across the stage. So just keeping in mind, we'll send out some additional updates to the board in regards to those things that we need to try to keep on your calendar. For May 16th is graduation. Field, committing, 7 p.m. So additionally, the senior parade is coming up on May 12th. So that is the same night as the board meeting. That will start at 6 p.m. So right now that the cross-county mall and head west down a lot of the so there's that for board meetings. The middle school, just to kind of make sure I'm hitting all of the schools, middle school had a guest speaker doing the event that occurred last Tuesday. Right? They had over 30 speakers, community members come in and kind of share perspectives. I listened to I don't know the speakers talking about how cool it was, how the community to come in and share what they're doing. Hopefully, we want them on the trajectory for future. We have a kindergarten transition night that's occurring on May 7th. So that's a big piece of helping not only our students but also our families between preschool to elementary. And lastly, about Lyft, their capstone night, their capstone projects was that students will be presenting those on May 7th. That's typically done in the training show. This is that Lyft district. So if you haven't been to listen to some of those things, it's a really great opportunity to hear what our students expect a semester. So just a quick little update. Some great things happening.
Upall.
Yes.
Armstrong. Branson.
Yes.
Irv.
Yes.
Edwards. Overton. Ryder.
Yes. Everybody have a good evening.